Hi guys, I have said for some time, if you own a Sony ZV-E10 or a ZV-E10 Mark II and you want to vlog your gorgeous face, then go ahead and pick up that Sony 11 because that will get the job done when it comes to the old vlogosphere. The kit lens that comes on the ZV-E10 and ZV-E10 Mark II, 16mm on APS-C with that hefty electronic stabilization crop that you're gonna want to use, it just gets too tight. Well, what if I were to tell you for $50 you can widen out that kit lens still using the stabilization that is in the kit lens? No stabilization in the 11, by the way. And also, this thing doubles as a macro lens. So now you can take some macro photography with your Sony kit lens. Oh, and also it fits the Sony ZV-1F. Now, what if I were to tell you all of that? So no disclaimers here, nobody's sponsoring this video, just went out and bought this myself. It was only 50 bucks, so I didn't even have to go into the wife's purse. I actually bought two of them. I got one from Ulanzi and this one is from Neewer. I think the Neewer one is a little bit better, but we will see what you think throughout the video, but they are both the same. They have a macro component and they have a wide angle lens component. You put the two together when you want to use it as a wide angle lens, and it just screws on to the front filter thread of your lens, the 40.5 filter thread, and then there you go. Now the Ulanzi one is a bit bigger and heavier. Now it is better built, I think. It feels a lot nicer going on to the camera. It's just nice and smooth, and its performance is not quite as good. It is a little bit wider, but I think the Neewer outperforms it. I definitely like how much lighter the Neewer one is. The Neewer is only 73 grams, and the Ulanzi one is 120 grams. It is quite noticeable, and then when you have that power zoom kit lens, it is nice to have that lighter adapter on the front element. Now, before I talk about the wide angle features, I will touch briefly on the fact that this also is a macro lens. You split it apart there, and the part that just screws in to your filter thread, you leave that on to take some macro photography, and you can really do it with this. Now, I wouldn't expect it to compete with award-winning macro lenses, but it is a nice little bonus to have with your wide angle adapter, where you can take your kit lens, if that's the only lens you have, you can start experimenting with macro photography. I think that is kind of cool. And now our feature presentation, I will go out into the world, vlogging my face, trying not to make eye contact with the other people in my neighborhood. Enjoy. So this is the Sony 16mm at its widest angle. I am using active stabilization, so it's cropping in 33% on the ZV-E10 Mark II, but I want stable footage for my gorgeous mug, so that's why I'm doing it. But as you can see, it's a little tight, so let's put on that wide angle adapter and see if that helps. Oh, it definitely helps. This is now wide enough for me to use the active stabilization while I vlog my fantastic things that I have to say to people. So many good things to say. If you take off active stabilization and you just stabilize the footage with Catalyst Browse, Catalyst Prepare, or Gyro Flow, then you can have this wide field of view as the sun comes out to ruin my perfect exposure. You can have this wide field of view while you vlog your nonsense. Now, comparing my favorite vlogging lens of all time, the Sony 11mm f1.8, as you can see, not that much difference in field of view from the Neewer wide-angled adapter on the kit lens, so that is pretty cool. I thought the little wide lens did a pretty good job. Not quite as wide as the 11, but certainly an improvement on the kit lens, and it didn't ruin the image at all. At least in the center, it was still quite sharp and looked pretty much like the kit lens, just a wider field of view. Now, I'll mention the ZV-1F briefly. I like to only use this one when I stabilize the gyro data through Catalyst Browse or Gyro Flow, because I find the active stabilization on the ZV-1F just there's too many micro jitters and it doesn't come out quite right. So I like to use this with no stabilization on and then through Catalyst Browse, but then I put this little adapter on there to give an even wider field of view. So if you want to see the exact difference in the viewing angle of the newer versus the Ulanzi versus the kit lens, then here we go. This is the kit lens with no adapter on, and now this is with the newer adapter, and the last one is with the Ulanzi adapter. As you can see, the Ulanzi is a little bit wider, but the corners get very warped and very soft, and the center is also not quite as sharp as the newer. It has a little bit of a haze on the Ulanzi lens, whereas the newer doesn't have that at all, keeps the contrast. I like that. Now, as you can see from those images, the center is really the only part worth looking at when you have this adapter on, because there is a large bowing on the corners there. They get really warped, and if you're trying to do architecture, corner-to-corner sharpness, and you want a wider lens, this is not for you. This is basically for getting the things in the center of the image to look good and give you a wider field of view. So that being said, maybe something you could consider is skipping these wide-angle adapters entirely and getting yourself a little vlog selfie stick that can extend, because now you can use your kit lens. There is no warping. There's nothing strange happening with the corners, but you can just hold your camera further away from you, and then the kit lenses become much more viable solutions. I will link this down in the description below. So if you have a 16-50 kit lens for your Sony camera and you want a little bit of a wider field of view, then this may fit the bill right here for not very many bills. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty affordable, and it could get the job done depending on who you are. Now, let me know down below, are you somebody who would be interested in something like this? Would you skip this, get a longer selfie stick, maybe save up and get a wider angle lens? Let me know what you think down below. We'll have a nice little discussion about it. Thanks for watching this. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.